Hello, race fans. Welcome to another episode of Short Track Guys Podcast, brought to you in part by Story Bleich Roofing. We've got you covered. Metal, slate, tile, asphalt, shingle. We're locals you can trust. Story Bleich Roofing, right here in Pensacola, Florida. Give us a call. I'm your host, Thomas Faddis, alongside two of the same Short Track guys in the studio as always. Jim Pokrant, driver of the 07 Sportsman here at Five Flag Speedway in Pensacola, Florida, and Ted Baber of Ted Baber Video Productions. What's up, guys?
Greetings.
What's up?
Yeah, big series opener. We have openers all over, and we've got a couple coming up. But, man, we had one this past weekend locally in our backyard at Mobile International Speedway. 230-lap features in a Crown Stocks and a Sportsman race, and Jim was a participant in that event. And tell us, Jim, how it went on Saturday night.
Well, I showed up. Car started stumbling. We didn't do very well. We parked the car, wound up sixth, but, you know, the best racing of the night in our race ended up being Jonathan Langham. Well, at least he thought he was going to win the race, but got to the scales and they tossed him. We'll talk more about that later because there's something I want to talk about when it comes to that. But congratulations to Brandon Fowler of Pensacola, Florida. He ended up getting the win. Charles Davis runs second, and Michael Bodini in the 09 car wound up in third place. Good job on those. That race was pretty sporty.
Yep.
Beginning of the night was the first Crown Stock feature. And Philip Griffin ended up winning it. Well, kind of, sort of. He got tossed for having the wrong coil springs. They said he had a coil spring in the left front had 10 coils and one in the left front had 8 coils. Springs are supposed to match. Oops. Stock means stock. He got tossed. And our very own Ryan Bleich, Sr. of Story Bleich Roofing fame, of the original Story Bleich Roofing Crown Stock division, ended up winning the race.
Attaboy, Ryan!
Yep. And then we had the third place finisher in that race was Mr. Chris Mitchell, who is Augie Grill's crew chief.
Whoa.
And our Crown Stock driver of the week, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
But he came down and ran out of gas on the last lap of the first feature and wound up third. Ryan Bleich ran out of gas and finished second, but wound up being the winner. So congratulations to them. And then we had another Crown Stock feature at the end of the night. Speaking of which, before that, they gave away a race-ready Crown Stock. You bought a raffle ticket for $5. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Chris Jackson of Grand Bay, Alabama, wound up winning a brand-new race-ready Crown Stock.
You got to be happy.
Yeah, I thought that was a neat deal. And Mobile gave away a car. Yeah. And I mean, they probably lost money giving it away, but you know what? They worked hard. They built the car, and it was awesome that they did that for a fan. And he was excited, and I'm surprised. If it had been me, I would have jumped in it and ran it.
Now, who put that car together?
Actually, Mako Fabrication did.
Wow.
Well,
yeah, that's the Eddie Shoemaker who now runs Mobile International Speedway. That's his business. They built the car for the division, got the car together. I can't remember the two guys that built it, but they built it in his shop, so that was pretty cool. Yeah. And then we had the second Crown Stock feature, which ended up being Mr. Chris Mitchell, ended up winning it, the Crown Stock Driver of the Week, the crew chief for Mr. Augie Grill, one of the baddest late model drivers in the Southeast. This guy battled Ryan Bleich for 10 or 15 laps before he finally got around him and got out there a little bit, but not really. I'm going to tell you something. Both those races the other night was some of the best racing I've seen in a long time. And the 44 car from Pensacola, Mr. Young, he was our Crown Stock Driver of the Week last year. He wound up running up front, but having a stumble and a problem and ended up having to park his at the end of the night. But some of the best racing I've seen in a while. I mean, they were 3 wide in the back of the pack. They were battling hard. A couple cars spun out. Yeah, a couple guys caused a couple problems. But, you know, for the most part, the racing was really, really good. And, you know, like I said, the tech actually did their job Friday night. But this is what I'm going to say about the Sportsman deal. I think the guy operating the scales made a mistake. And I may be wrong in this, but when I got there Saturday and went over, did my usual safety check, drove up on the scales, and the guy told me I had 54.5 left side weight, which is the weight that is sitting on the left side wheels. We're only allowed 53% left side weight. I said, "Are you sure?" "Oh, yeah. So I went back to my pits, moved some lead around, went back over, and then I was under by 4%.
What?
Okay, there's no way that happened. I guarantee the guy had it set on cross. Jonathan and them took a picture of the scales after their car rolled off. The guy had it on cross. They told Jonathan he had too much left. I think they got it wrong with the cross. It's my opinion. If that's the case, they need to work on that.
Right.
But I'm glad they're looking, and I'm glad they're at least doing something, because we've talked about this in the past, that we've got to have tech to make these cars legal and make things right.
Yeah.
Because if we don't do this, guys are going to get away with too much, and your fields are going to shrink and shrink and shrink, because one car is going to dominate, and you're letting him dominate, and it ruins the racing.
It's rules creep. A little bit here, a little bit there, before you know you're way out in left field, and it's not fair anymore.
Well, yeah, but you got some guys that are actually doing stuff that they need to be checked.
Right.
And people say, oh, you can't check and see if the computers have been. Yes, you can. If you got somebody, get a Ford dealership, give them a banner at your racetrack, and send one of their techs over or impound the cars and have the guy come out Monday.
Right.
Check them. And if your computer isn't stock, guess what? See you later.
Well, do you think this is a problem with the car count as far as the sportsman goes? Because it looked like Crown Stock's doubled them up.
Oh,
They
did.
It's almost 20 Crown Stock.
Well, the thing about Crown Stock is it's still relatively cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find those cars anywhere. And a roll cage roll cage kit's $200. And you got somebody that can weld, and you get a seat and everything. You come race. Now, you may not win or be competitive, but at least you can get on the racetrack.
Yeah, well.
And then back in my first started, I knew I couldn't beat those guys, but I was out there having fun. And it needs to be more fun. They need to figure out a way to make it more fun and get people involved, because you're gonna have guys that are gonna cheat.
Giving everybody an equal opportunity to win would make it more fun.
Yeah, it will be, but I mean, I just enjoy being on the racetrack, and that was my thing when I first started. It was fun to be out there having fun, going around the racetrack. Yeah, you want to win,
right?
But you should want to be at the racetrack and want to be around your buddies and having a good time. Now, if there's a couple cars dominating, fix it.
Yep.
We got a sportsman car at Five Flags right now that I know ain't right. And they ain't done nothing about it. They've let him win a bunch of races. So, when they did the same thing to me of the 00 when he had that illegal lower trailing arm.
Right.
And there's one car, I can't remember which one. There's one of them in Mobile. The left trailing arm on that car is 4 miles long. It's obvious. You can see it. So I'm just saying we need to get. I'm glad to see him looking, but I think they made a mistake with Jonathan Langham. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong and they prove me wrong, I'll take it. But when that man told me I had 54 left, and there's no way I had 54 left, because I scaled the car before I left the shop, and I know the scales I was using are good, and the floor was level, so I knew I was pretty close. So, and when their official has to guide you on the scales because you have to be on their scales a certain way. It's time to buy some new scales, fellas. Yeah. Just, Eddie, you got plenty of money, buy a set of scales, please. That's my rant for the day, but congratulations to Chris and Ryan and Brandon Fowler for getting the win. And, good night. It was a decent crowd in Mobile. I was really surprised for a 2-3 race deal. I mean, they were maybe half full, but that's pretty sporty. And they gave that car away, and man, you got one fan that's just happy as hell. He's got him a race car. So hopefully he'll get to race it and have some fun, and we'll continue on this year and see where it goes.
Yeah, he's happy he's got the car now, but then when he starts to race and goes, wait a minute, I didn't know I had to spend this kind of money.
Yeah. I mean, I talked to Hunter Lambert's dad about a Crown Stock, and he said, you got to buy new right side tires almost every other race. I said, okay. I said, I'm buying right side tires every race.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, I didn't think about that. And I said, if I don't want to buy new tires, I don't have to worry about having to buy these big, wide, expensive tires, because I think the street tires they're running about $125 a piece.
Well, that's pretty close to what yours are.
They're more than that. It's $350 something for 2 tires.
Woo. Well, that's going up.
Oh yeah, they're yeah. And wait till you think everybody thinks the American Racer is the answer. Yeah, they're more expensive. And this is another thing that they don't do. I like our 2-tire rule. If we were going to go to American Racers, let's go to a 2-tire rule.
Yeah.
But enforce it, or buy 4 tires at the beginning of the season, and you have to run those same 4 tires for 3 races. It puts everybody on an equal playing field, and those tires will last 3 races. Yeah. Oh. So. That's just my opinion.
That's just Mobile. Here, are you still on the Hoosiers here, though, aren't you?
No, Mobile's on Hoosiers now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're all on Hoosier tires now. Gina wanted to try to get a monopoly, and it didn't work. You want all these guys on the American, and Ricky Brooks is an American Racer tire guy. So we'll see what happens with that. But I want a set of tires that'll last. There's a company, I can't think of the name, that just started building short track tires. Not Cooper. Maybe it was Cooper Cobra. There's somebody that's building a set, and they claim they're really, really good, but I haven't seen them in a while. So we'll have to see what it does with that too. But race car tires are the foremost important thing on a race car, and if we can make them cheaper for the drivers, it'll help car count.
Yeah. You're not putting out so much every week to just get out there.
Well, when you got to spend, $370 or $50 on 2 tires, and the race only pays $500 to win. By the time you pay your fuel and everything like that, you'd be lucky to break even.
Right.
So
that needs to happen a lot further in the field. I mean, a lot deeper.
I agree. But anyway, let's see where we're going next.
Well, the next event there in Mobile will be March 30th. Pro Late Model Sportsman Outlaw Pro Trucks and Crown Stocks. They're March 30th at Mobile International Speedway.
Fastest fun around.
Yeah, it's going to be quicker than you think. I know today's Wednesday, but I'm sure we'll be blinking our eye and then talking about the results of that one too. But it just happened. It seems like every night that we turn around, there's races that come and go. That's just the way we present it, and it's the way it happens. This past weekend, I think we have some results on a former champion. I think Dale Jr. has a little bit to do with this. The Z-Max Cars Tour. Carson Quapple opened up the season there, and
but before that happened, though, we had a little bit of a tune-up. There at that fun little track near Kendley, North Carolina, is the inaugural Speed Week at Southern National Motorsports Park. It was fun for a lot of guys, but it was a whole lot more fun for at least one driver. We just go through. They had Thursday and Friday night races. Won't go through the entire thing, but we'll at least announce the winners of the March 7th and March 8th races. They had twin races. March 7th, the twin one was Robert Arch. Then had Ryan Wilson, Andrew Grady, Michael O'Brien, and John Goyne, the top 5. On the March 7th twin 2, it was, get ready to hear this name a lot, Connor Hall, Ryan Joyner, Ryan Wilson, Jeff Oakley, and Blaze Brinkley. On the March 8th twin, the first twin, guess who? Connor Hall, Ryan Wilson, Jeff Oakley, Robert Arch, and Ryan Joyner. These names are getting familiar, but just get ready for it.
Yep.
And on March 8th, the second twin, again, Connor Hall, 3 out of 4 on that particular weekend. Blaine Harrison, Blaze Brinkley, Andrew Grady, and Ryan Joyner again. I want to give a shout out to Regina Servant, who had an average finish about top 12. And I just at least have to get this name out here anyway. They have a class called the Chargers on March 8th. Second place guy, Gator Williams. You just got to love somebody with a name like that.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yep.
There you go.
What was that name again?
Gator Williams.
Gator.
Get him, Gator.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That Gator guy.
Little roundy round.
I wonder if that's his real name or if that's a nickname.
I do not know.
Because if your parents name you Gator, you're I think I hear banjos, y'all.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat.
Yep, and that was just a tune-up.
That was just a tune-up. They were all getting ready to have a little bit more fun because, as we mentioned, I had a discussion of the late model race, which came up on the following weekend, the weekend right after that. And as we are familiar with this name, Carson Quapple won the race. And once again, that guy Connor Hall finished second, so he got really familiar with the track. Very different cars, but still, the experience may have helped him out. And we had Deke McCaskill, Chase Burrow, Caden Honeycutt, Brent Cruz, Minnie Tyrell. There's an interesting one. Gotta give you that. Clay Jones, Trayton Lapsevich, Bobby McCarty, Lane Riggs, Buddy Isles, Logan Clark, Katie Hettinger with the 14th place finish, Ronnie Bassett, Brandon Pierce, and John Goyne.
Well, one of the biggest things is the 2 drivers that didn't make that field.
Yeah.
Give it to us.
Oh, Stephen Nassy
No way.
went home. Landon Huffman went home.
Like loaded it up and went home.
I had to load up and go to the house because they didn't make the show.
Dang.
That's bad.
Very.
Yeah,
Very
that's
unusual
Stephen
for that.
Nassy running that family-owned for the full season this year.
They're
and
running
that's,
the full cars tour.
not a way they want to start out, I'm sure.
No, I mean that's just screwed up.
I have to continue here, unfortunately, because I had a technical difficulty with my machinery over here.
Little glitch.
Yeah, a little glitch. After I think I finished 17th place, 18th was Jacob Hefner, Brendan Queen, Bryce Applegate, Ryan Millington, Gavin Bichelle, Cameron Bolin, Jamie Caudill, Cade Brown, Chad McCumbee, Andrew Grady, Trevor Ward, Ryan Joyner, and Mason Diaz in the 30th position.
Well, there's some names down there between 20 and 30 that we have mentioned quite a bit. Gavin Bichelle, which we know running that the Swindell Speed Lab, in the sprint cars, has actually gotten into the late models here locally the last little bit. So we've seen a lot of Gavin Bichelle and Chad McCumbee being a famous actor in the movie 3. He played Dale Jr. in that movie, and Mason Diaz, which is, I'm sure, a very unfamiliar finish with him.
Oh, yeah.
Those are 3 of the names that we have thrown around. In fact, they're still sticking on the walls around in this studio for sure.
Well, Claudill, his dad or grandfather's probably Larry Claudill, who was when NASCAR had the small car compact series, he won that championship several times. A lot of those names are old NASCAR names that if you knew, like the Dash series and things like that. A lot of those names are from that are familiar to me, being an older guy that, followed it from when I was a little kid and used to read every page of Stock Car and Circle Track magazine when I was 9 and 10 years old. Larry Claudill was a very famous. He never made it to the big leagues. He did try some with the Busch Grand National, but he never made it. So there's a lot of names in that field of cars that are people that, are from racing lineage.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, the 2-time series champion, Carson Kvapil.
Dad was a truck champion.
Yeah, and his brother, Caden, won the Pro
Cars
Tour championship last year, and both of them were here during the Derby weekend this past year, and I don't believe that Caden made it, but Carson got disqualified in the last chance race, I believe.
Yep, he was in the last chance race and got tossed.
So they tried, and they got a little taste of the Derby. So, but hey, he's going right back on top with the ZMAX Cars Tour late model stock season opener. Takes the win at Southern National Motorsports Park. They're in, where you say, North Carolina, eh?
Yeah, Keenly.
Yeah.
Keenly.
Throw a little Canadian in there for you.
Yeah.
Eh?
Eh?
Yeah. North Carolina, eh? Yeah.
Well, the Cars Tour is going to be something very interesting to follow, because ever since Dale Jr. and them took it over, they've expanded, made it bigger, better, and some of the names that are going to be running. I mean, you tracked to Stephen Nasse, even though he didn't make the race, you attracted him to come run the whole season, so that's pretty cool. What about the smart modifieds, Thomas? Didn't we?
Well, I can tell you that a 15-year-old proved he was the real deal in the Warrior 100 at Caraway, and that's just a little tidbit of what I have. I think you have a much better picture of what went on.
Dude, he put a bumper to Ryan Newman. The NASCAR guys say Ryan Newman is the hardest race car driver to pass in the history of NASCAR, and this kid put a bumper to him and got him out of the way, and Ryan couldn't get back to him. Congratulations to Carson Lofton. Well, here's the rundown. We're gonna give you the rundown of the field. It's Carson Lofton, Ryan Newman, Bobby Labonte. Mm-hmm. Bobby Labonte, Cup champion, Bobby Labonte, by the way.
Yes.
Jimmy Blewett, a major modified player in the field. Danny Bone, Jason Myers of the Myers brothers, Luke Baldwin, Blake Barney, and this is uncharacteristic, Matt Hirschman finished 9th.
No way.
The dude that just put his boot on the throat of all the other modified drivers last year in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Series and put a stomp on them. After that, Joey Coulter, it's a name we recognize.
Yep.
Will Lambrose, Anthony Bello, okay. Austin Nakarash, I can't pronounce that name. And then we have Jonathan Cash. I'm sure he doesn't want to go by Johnny Cash, but Jonathan Cash finished 14th. Jimmy Wallace, 15th. 16th, Brandon Ward. Burt Myers finished 17th after a bad wreck on the last lap in turn 4, destroyed the car. Gary Putnam in 19th. Daniel Yates. Tommy Buzzy. Jake Crum finished 22nd. Jason Tudrow. Corey Norman. Jonathan Cleveman, okay. And rounding out the field was Gary Young Jr., number 45. But what a great race. We watched the video earlier. Man, that kid, he wheeled the crap out of the thing to get around Ryan Newman and to do what he did and maintain the lead. Congratulations, kid. You earned some respect.
Yeah, 15 years old. Woo. Ryan Newman, Bobby Labonte, and just to throw this out there, that 99 of Jimmy Blewett, their sponsors wanted on that car. So anybody listening, 99 Jimmy Blewett, you can't go wrong with that. Putting the name on that car. Sponsors are wanted.
Yeah, while we're at Caraway Speedway and we're talking to Jake Crum, his wife, by the way, happened to take the checkered flag and the late model stock car race there over the weekend. She basically rode fourth or fifth for a little while, and then took advantage of a little bit of a mistake from somebody up front by the name of Jamie York, and went around him. Her first win. It's been a little while. The Warrior 100, say top 5 was Annabeth Barnes Crum. We like to highlight the ladies when they
Yes,
get up
sir.
front. Thomas Bean, Jamie York, Camden Thomas, and Dean Ward. Yeah, that was outstanding.
Yeah, congratulations, man. Well, that's some big news there. I really wish those type of cars and races and events would come here.
Yeah.
Maybe they're working on it.
Yeah, maybe. Late model stocks are mainly a North Carolina up that way thing because they're basically a steering box, drag link front end. There's no like super late models run quit rack and pinion steering. They don't, and they also run stock type brakes. So they don't have the big brakes that the late models, supers, and pros have. So
Well, we get the Smart Modified Tour, some, tour type
that
modifieds.
would
like,
be cool.
Not only smart, but the type of modifieds they run at New Smyrna, the ground pounders like that can maybe
that
swing by here once in a while and give us a little,
Oh yeah, hell
taste.
yeah! I would love to see those things at Five Flag Speedway
They would light it up, I bet.
or Mobile even. That would be cool to see them come
Yeah.
do a 2-race deal in Pensacola and Mobile. That would be awesome.
Back to back.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Carson Lofton, for that back-to-back with Florence Motor Speedway and then Caraway. Their next event will be March 23rd at South Boston, which is the king of the modifieds in Virginia. So we'll certainly keep our eyes on a 15-year-old because it just seems like they get younger and younger. The first 10-year-old was going to probably set records for the youngest ever to win a race. And it's coming. Trust me.
I don't like that idea. But
The
that's
first
just me.
newborn to win a super late model race.
They're gonna pull them right out of the
6
women,
weeks old.
throw them in a go kart. Here, put on a helmet. You can drive.
Yeah, let's go.
Late model. Yeah, the go-kart with a late model body.
Had to make pit stops to change their diapers. The number 14 got to make a poop stop.
Oh, Lord. Now we're going off the rails.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it happens. Opening night here in our backyard. We can come back to Five Flag Speedway. The big weekend coming up, March 22nd. That's weekend after next?
Yep.
Yeah.
Part of a big weekend. Outlaw Sportsman, Pure Stocks on the 22nd. And then the 23rd. That's the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of March. Opening night, big part of the weekend. ARCA Menard Series East 150 and the ASA Stars National Tour Sunshine State 200 coming up here in our backyard. Man, that's... Well, if you don't have your tickets for that, then shame on you.
It's the big weekend.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
that's a commercial right there.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, don't let that voice go anywhere.
Come down. You'll buy the whole seat, but you only need the edge.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be Friday night. I'm gonna be racing, and it's gonna be a great show. The next night's ARCA Menards. I'm gonna be crewing for an ARCA car, and Sunday I'm gonna be sitting in the grandstands on probably a set of cushions and drinking a cold beverage, watching Bubba Pollard put the whoop on him, and maybe we get to watch 2 nights of Bubba Pollard opening up a can of whoop.
could be.
That'd be pretty good.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yep.
Well, this Sunday, we got the Rattler coming up, which the weather is scary and sketchy, but they've already put up the new schedule. If it rains out, they'll run it on Monday.
All of the modifications have been posted on their website, so look at that before you head up that way.
If I was going, I'm just going for Sunday. I mean, I hope the locals show up and support the local divisions and the Baby Rattler on Saturday, but the weather does not look good for Friday or Saturday, but Sunday's a possibility. But that's going to be, that's going to be another barn burner of a race. They posted this morning the American Racer tire truck sitting in the parking lot. So they got plenty of tires.
That's optimism.
Yeah. Well, the sportsman cars are there and the pro late models and the super late models. Yeah. The UARA late model series now.
Yes.
Well, here's a question as far as the Rattler goes.
Okay.
Is it a pet rattlesnake?
Oh no, it's a real deal.
No,
One that well, see,
It's big. Too.
I'll give you a little history. The rattlesnake, you came from the rattlesnake rodeo that used to happen in Alabama. They would go around and round up a bunch of rattlesnakes because they were bad about killing cattle and humans.
Right.
So they would have a roundup. They would round them all up, and then they would kill them. And then people would eat them. You could eat rattlesnake. You could get the skins for your boots. You could, well, PETA, the people for the ethical treatment animals, or as I say, people eating tasty animals, came in and said, you can't do this anymore. It's cruel to the animals. So they did away with the rattlesnake rodeo. But during the snake, that is a live, real deal rattlesnake that and Bubba Pollard uncomfortable would have made me uncomfortable. Hold no damn snake up my own snakes. No, the only good snake's a dead snake. I don't care about a rat snake or another snake. But you should see Bubba, he's just shaking his head like, get this thing away from me. But it's a real live deal. It's not a pet. It's an actual snake that they catch, and they devenom it, of course. Yeah. They're not going to bring one up there that could strike somebody and kill them, but it still bites you, and it still hurts.
Yeah, Ty Majeski looked fairly comfortable with it.
Yeah, I'm sure he did, too. Yeah, I don't know, anybody's like, just get this thing off me. But, yeah, last year's race was a barn burner. I mean, Ty Majeski coming from the back, Bubba coming from 15th. It's going to be a great show on Sunday. Bubba's also in the Baby Rattler, which he won last year also. Right. So, I mean, and anybody in that field, there's just, I mean, like I said, it's another one of those great super late model races that we talk about that's just a barn burner. Yeah. It's full of great drivers. I mean, there's not a slacker in that field. These guys are all track champions or won a champion in a big series. Yeah, so
it's a bit of a bull ring too. You can get around there very quickly. The laps roll off quick. You don't have any time to waste.
No, you got to roll. I mean, it's going to be a great show, and John Dykes and them always put on a good show.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, what do we got? Bristol?
Yeah, if you don't have your tickets for that, please. Shame on you again.
Yep.
Yeah, I just pulled this list up. I know it's April 6th, but this is at Bristol. I know they're all running Bristol this weekend and everything in the upper tiers, but this is the Boers Welding and Steel Short Track Nationals, the last lap Bristol Motor Speedway entry list, and there's 80 street stocks listed on this thing.
Wow.
That's nuts.
and before we went on, Ted and I were going over this list and looking at where everybody is from. Majority of them are Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, kind of maybe Ohio, but there are a couple from up north. In the Boston area, we do have a local coming from Irvington, which is actually just outside Mobile, and there's a couple others from Venice, Florida, that kind of thing. But most of them are around that area: Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio, some Kentucky and Tennessee. But 80 street stocks listed to go around them high banks at Bristol. I can't wait for that one.
I'm going to close my eyes and guess it's Jonathan Langham.
More than likely.
Yeah.
It just has Irvington, Alabama, but it's our backyard.
It's Jonathan. Yeah, they built a car for that CRA series. So,
okay.
Yeah, they've been building it for a year, so yeah, he's going to be there. But that race is pretty cool. Would love to go make laps up there, but I don't have the money. It's just too expensive.
Very.
And I'm going to miss it this year too. I don't have a car. So
well,
I mean, I'd like to.
I'd love to make laps there because
it's just a historic track.
Well, yeah, I mean, and my hero is still the winningest driver in Bristol history, so I would love to make. There and Nashville are two places I want to get around just because old DW, was the winningest driver in Nashville and he's the winningest driver in Bristol. So, and only driver ever to win 7 in a row.
Wow.
That's pretty bad.
That's brand new information.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, I think that's going to be a great race. This show at Bristol, Short Track Nationals, is usually a pretty good show.
Yeah. I just ran across that, and I thought 80 cars in that thing was street stocks.
Is crazy.
It is crazy. And they're probably going to start, 35 or 40?
I think they started 30 last time. So that means there's going to be 50 cars going to the house.
Crying, taking their ball and going home.
I think they may run a last chance race. They should run a non-winners race, but they're going to do what they're going to do. So
and 2024 UARA Sportsman Series registration at South Alabama, 3/16/24, and that is a date 3/16.
Yes.
Anthony Cataldi. We have L.J. Grimm. We have Cody Brusso. We have Brooke Storr. Cody Crucker. Those are just some of the entries there at the Sportsman Series registrations up. They're going to run at South Alabama this weekend, I guess. 316, that's a sportsman lineup. It looks like they've got about 25 or so.
Yep. Our girl Cody Brusso and her wife are in that race. Brooke Store, they're going to be up there racing. She does pretty well. Plus, she's going to be in a modified this year again, and she won the track championship last year in the modified class. So Cody will be a threat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, good luck to everybody this weekend. Got a lot of good stuff coming up. Some results next Wednesday. We're still looking for some more comments. We have responded to several, and we do appreciate that from our listeners. Hope the information is just. We look for some more, and we do have merchandise out. We're actually close to reordering. So thank you all for your support. Story and Bleich Roofing, McDonald Muffler, coming back on board this year for the season. We do appreciate your support. Guys, until next Wednesday, if there's anything else that we've got on the slate that we have.
No, I think we got it pretty much covered. But everybody get out and support your local short tracks, whether it's dirt, asphalt, or otherwise. Buy a hat, buy a shirt, interact with us, send us some messages, start talking to us, and share us with your friends, folks. If you start sharing that, we're gonna expand, we're gonna get bigger, we're gonna do more. And if you got a short track and you want to send us your results or a favorite driver you'd like for us to talk to, please send us an email.
Definitely.
It's on our website. You can look it up, and everything's there. So we would appreciate hearing from you guys.
Yeah, we'll fit it in. Don't worry.
So
Amen to that.
I think we're ready for a 1,
2,
3.
Let's go, Brandon. Good night, everybody.
Be strong, America.
Thanks for listening.